What's up, Glomo? This is mole to mass and mass to mole explanation video. Now, if you're going to be following along with me, this is again for MrWiedeman.com, uploaded to Chapter 7 materials. The worksheet that you need for this is called the mole to mass, mass to mole worksheet, where there is a block of 5 questions on the top, and there's a block of 5 questions on the bottom. All you need to do is move from grams of one substance to moles on the top, moles from one substance to grams of that same substance on the bottom. So let me explain how we're going to do this. This little picture right here, okay, I'm calling a flow chart. This is the top of my website currently. So here's what you can do. If you are in mass of a substance, you can go to moles of that same substance. And when you do that, you hit this little track right here. And you see that that is the necessary thing that you have to do in order to get to moles. So if you start with mass, which is grams, and you want to move to moles of a substance, which is MOL, you hit this little step right here, which is the molar mass. And you can even see the way that's going to be set up. That's going to be our work. The molar mass, the number in grams of that element or compound that we're in, is going to be on the bottom, and 1 mole of that element is going to be on top. So be familiar with this flowchart because this is going to seriously help you. You want to go from mass of one substance to moles of that same substance, you hit this box, and that's the work that you need to show. So let's go ahead and do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do number 1 from the top and number 1 from the bottom. So I'm going to do that right here. So number 1 on top is 25 grams of NaCl. Here's what you need to do. I'm going to go ahead and do a start box, or this is what I call the boxes, and I'm going to label this first step my start. Now, following your flow chart, that's where you're starting, down here, your start. What you're going to hit next is the molar mass step. That's the work that you need to show. So this next box is going to be your molar mass. So let's go ahead and get started. 25 grams of this substance is going up here. That's what you always start in. This is also called the given. That's what you're given for the problem. Now I need to find the molar mass of the element or the compound that's right here. So let's go ahead and flip this paper over if you're working with yours, and let's do the molar mass of this compound. You need it to move forward. Just like the molar mass video, list out the elements that are in this compound, list out how many you have of each, find them on the periodic table, round them to the hundredths place, and let's add them together. So Na all the way on the periodic table, which is right there, is 22.99. That is going to stay 22.99. That times itself is 22.99. Chlorine is all the way on the far right of the periodic table, 35.45. That times itself, 35.45. Grab a calculator and let's add these things together. 22.99 plus 35.45 equals 58.44 grams per mole. Now let me just go ahead and show you what this is real quick. Here's what you're going to do when you're doing the actual conversion math, like what we're doing with our boxes here. This number can be split up in one of 2 ways. This can also be written as 58.44 grams over 1 mole, or 1 mole over 58.44 grams. Notice that the number always sticks with gram and 1 always goes with mole, because that's what this number means. If you have 1 mole of this substance, you have this many grams of it. So basically we're going to split it apart, put it this way, or flip it over and put it this way to make our work work. Now, filling out your molar mass box. You do not want to be in grams of NaCl, you want to be in moles of NaCl. The universal spot to cancel something is always diagonal towards it. So this is going to be grams of NaCl. And this is going to be mole of NaCl. Now again, look back to your work. Which one are you going to use? You have grams on the bottom and moles on top. Doesn't that look a lot like this one here? So 1's going to go with mole and your number is going to go with gram. 58.44. The way these boxes work, if you go through a vertical line, you're multiplying, and if you go through a vertical line, you're multiplying, And if you go through a horizontal line, you're dividing. So here's what the work looks like. This is 25 times 1. Always use parentheses when you're doing things. Divided by, I just like parentheses, I'll do this, 58.44 equals. So I'm going to put it that way in my calculator. Parenthesis, 25 times 1, close, divided by, open a 1 at the bottom, 58.44, close. I get 0.42, and this 7 is going to cause that to round up. My answer is going to be 0.43, so 0.43. Here's what you know your unit is. Whatever the top right box is, that's your unit, and that's your substance. So this is mole of NaCl. Going back to your flow chart, take a look at this work right here. Doesn't that look a lot like this? You have 1 mole and 1 mole. You have your molar mass on the bottom. You have your molar mass on the bottom. And now, whatever you are in the top right box, now you're in moles. That's the answer. Because you canceled grams, now you're in moles. That's the answer. So let's switch this around. What happens if we don't start in grams, but we start in moles? So take a look at number 1 on the bottom block. Let's do the same thing. Conversion box, start. Go ahead and put your number in, 2.5 mole of NaCl. Take a look at your flow chart. You are now in mole, you're not in gram. So you're starting in this little circle here now. And you want to move back to grams, which is mass here. You encounter this. Notice how the only difference between these two things is that the boxes basically just flipped. It flipped to make this one. That's all you're going to do. So you're going to use the same molar mass of the compound to go from moles to grams of that same substance. So we need the molar mass for our second box. We're right here, right now. We hit this to go to mass. So this is going to be molar mass for this box. So we need to go back to what we calculated earlier. We did this already. Here's the molar mass. The 1 is going to go with mole, and the number is going to go with gram. So in this case right here, I don't want to be in mole of NaCl, so mole of NaCl placed down here will allow me to cancel that. I want to be in grams of NaCl, so I put that on top. 1 is always going to go with mole, and the number from you calculating it is going to go with grams, which is 58.44. That's a crappy 8, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and do the math. This is 2.5 times 58.44 divided by 1. In your calculator, 2.5 times 58.44 divided by 1 equals 146.1. 146.1. I'm going to put a 0 on there just because I like making sure my answers are to the hundreds place. And what's your unit? What is the top right box? Grams of NaCl. That is how you do the whole entire page. It is either going to be canceling moles and going to grams, or starting in grams and going to moles. That is how you do mole to mass and mass to moles